We're here to offend everybody. This line comes from Mr. Garrison, a teacher in South Park, and it feels less like a joke and more like a mission statement. And if you've ever watched South Park, especially at the worst possible moment, like when your parent walks in, you know they take this mission very seriously. At first glance, South Park may seem chaotic, loud, and completely unfiltered. It's full of weird voices, ridiculous situations, and yes, a lot of fart jokes. So it's easy to write it off as immature and offensive and say, oh, we're not watching this. But that is not the whole picture. Because underneath all that chaos, South Park is actually a really smart and intentional piece of satire. Created by Trey Parker and Matt Stone in 1997, this show has stayed relevant for over 25 years. That's older than almost everybody in this room. So today, I want to show you 3 things. First, why crude humor is more than it appears. Second, how the show uses satire to critique real-world issues. And third, how it's managed to stay relevant for so long, despite offending everybody. Let's start with the humor. There's no denying it, South Park is crude. But the crudeness isn't random, it's deliberate. According to Encyclopedia Britannica, in the article South Park, published in 2024, the show often uses offensive humor to satirize social norms and human behavior. The show uses shock value to grab your attention. When something is outrageous, your immediate reaction is, oh my gosh, did they just say that? Now you're hooked. Once you're paying attention, the actual message slips in. Basically, the jokes act as a delivery system. Take Eric Cartman, for example. In this specific episode, known as Crack Baby Basketball, he exploits young crack-addicted babies into a basketball league to make him plenty of money. This seems super extreme and a completely unrelevant situation that would never happen. But we're blowing up they're blowing this out of proportion so it makes these easier to spot. You can think of a time in normal society when people are being exploited to the benefit of somebody else. Cartman is selfish and manipulative and totally convinced he's a genius when he's obviously not. But the exaggeration is the point. By blowing up real human flaws, you make them easier to spot. You laugh at him, and then sometimes you realize you met somebody kind of like him. That's not an accident. South Park isn't just trying to be funny, it's using humor to point out behaviors, challenge attitudes, and critique how people think. It's basically like holding up a mirror to society, except your mirror is very loud and very unhinged. And somehow, it still works. So yeah, the humor might seem immature on the surface, but it's often doing something deeper than we think. It's less random nonsense and more like disguised commentary. Now let's talk about satire, because this is where South Park really excels. Satire is defined as humor used to expose or criticize real-world issues. Politics, celebrities, trends, controversies, if it exists, South Park has made fun of it.
You'd be thinking, there goes that murderer! You got away with murder, you murdering, lying waste of life! And to me, people...
The context behind that video is all of the people in the video that were featured are either murderers or connected to a murder and lied about it, and they're basically attacking them without actually attacking them. What makes it interesting is that it doesn't take or pick sides, it goes after everybody. In a 2023 History.com article titled South Park, it explains that the show satirizes a wide range of topics, including politics and pop culture. So, politicians, media, celebrities, and everyday people are all treated with the same level of scrutiny. Because of that, the show doesn't pick one specific viewpoint. Instead, it shows you how ridiculous every viewpoint can be in every situation and lets you decide for yourself. Another reason the satire works so well is the speed. Most shows take months to produce an episode, and South Park does it in a matter of days. As Variety noted in a 2023 article called South Park, the show is known for its quick production scheduling, allowing it to address current events almost immediately. While other shows are still catching up to last year's trends, South Park is joking about things that happened last week. As you can see, these were from Thanksgiving. We have Trump and J.D. Vance around Christmas time, that was a little past. The Labubu's, that was a big thing going at the beginning of the year. Ice was a big thing, and if you can't really see it great here, but he's doing the 6-7. And this makes it feel current and connected in a way most shows just can't match. Finally, let's look at why it's lasted so long. Its biggest reason is its ability to evolve. In a 2023 The Guardian article titled South Park, it explains that its longevity is due to its ability to adapt to changing cultural and political landscapes. This video was made from an episode 12 years ago when the Israel-Palestine conflict was going on. And this episode was produced 2 weeks after it was announced.
Let us celebrate under one symbol.
But at the same time, it hasn't changed what made it unique. Its animation style is still simple, the characters are still chaotic, and its humor is still pushing boundaries. The balance, changing without losing your identity, is very rare. And because it makes fun of everything, a wide range of people can connect with it. You may not agree with every joke, but usually something hits. You laugh, and then you pause, and then you wonder if you should have laughed. And the answer is usually yes. So in conclusion, South Park is more than its reputation suggests. Yes, it's crude. Yes, it's offensive. And yes, it will occasionally make you question your life choices. But it's also smart, intentional, and built on strong satire. It uses humor to grab your attention, exaggeration to reveal truths, and speed to stay relevant in a constantly changing world. In many episodes, the character ends by saying, "You know, I learned something today." While this is usually used for a joke, it expresses something real about the show. Because underneath all the chaos, South Park pushes its audiences to think just as much as it makes them laugh. And that might be its biggest strength. It reminds us that in a world so complicated, contradictory, and sometimes just plain ridiculous, the best response is laughter. Because if South Park has taught you anything over the past 25 years, it's that when everything feels absurd, the smartest thing you can do is laugh right back.